Hello everyone, welcome to my chess quiz. Today I will show you the game played by Temur and Rudik in the Russia-Australia under 16 team battle. Before I start up the game, I want to show some interesting modern chess concept that this can be used or played by students or any of your friend or player. This is my chess of book strategy where it consists of 5 elements. The first concept is the C, which stands for the centralization, and you try to put all your materials towards the golden 4 square in the center of the board. The next will be the H, which stands for hyper development, and this consists of the 16 square in the board, which I can assume as a silver square. The next is the E, which stands for efficiency of movement, which means this movement consists of your rook, knight, and bishop. These 3 can be categorized as your weapon, and this to bring towards to checkmate your opponent's king. The next one will be the X, to stand for sacrifice. In all the game, you try to play all the tactical and strategy to make a brilliant sacrifice. And if the sacrifice is not work, it means you are making a mistake or blunder. And lastly, not to forget about the safety of your king. With this, I would like to show how the game played by Temur and Rudik. In the actual game, white play e4, then c5, knight f3, e6, d4, Cxd4. And as you can see at this 3 opening, white is trying to control the square, the golden square. Then continue, knight takes d4, knight c6, knight c3, queen to c7, bishop e2, and knight f6. And at this position, white is slightly better because the pieces are highly active. And this knight can capture this, attack this square, and attack this square, attack this square, and the bishop can have a multiple attack of the location, and also the king can go for the castling. Knight d to b5, attacking the queen, and also have the place to move to knight to d6, queen to b8, and white play f4. And at this stage, you can see that white pieces are hyper development. It's not only to control the center of the square, it also control the next 16 square. So black play a6, and it only ignore the knight is being attacked. White keep on pushing the pawn to attack the knight and attack the pawn and to destroy the black structure. e4, a takes b5, e takes f4, and at this stage the position is equal. Then you continue to play b4, attacking the knight, and white continue to attack the pawn. F takes g7, bishop takes g7, and knight to b5. Then continue to play d5, and white play f4. Black play bishop to e5. The idea of taking the free pawn. So at this stage, can you find what is the white idea, the continuation of idea to play in this position? I give a couple of seconds to figure out. Well, conclusion for those who have the idea, and for those who like to enjoy the show, here are the moves. White play bishop to h5, and with the idea of bishop sacrifice, bishop takes f7. So the gameplay as this: bishop takes bishop h4 to h5, then black takes bishop h2, and with this, white can execute the sacrifice idea by playing bishop takes f7 and check the king. So at this stage, the best idea is for black is not to take the pawn, because the pawn is risky, or it's a poison pawn, and the idea of the black can play is try to develop the pieces. For example, you can play e takes f5, then you have the equal game, or maybe black is slightly better. Then you can play queen takes pawn, castling, and to get the king away from the center. Then queen to d2, rook to a4, attacking the knight. And now you have a very strong position for black. Bishop to e2, defending the knight. Rook to e8, trying to pin the king. And king to f2, king to h8 to get away from the center. a4 and rook g8, rook to d1, and bishop now can take the free pawn once all the pieces is fully developed. So in actual game, bishop takes h2. Then the gameplay sacrificed by white, bishop takes f7 check. Then king to takes f7. And now you have a very beautiful idea by playing queen to h5 and check the king. And you have also another diagonal of bishop you can develop and check this area. For example, queen to h5 check, king to g8. Then after this stage, you can see that white is winning the game and mate. So white continue to play rook, the queen to e8 check. So this will only allow king to move one place up. So at this position, the queen cannot take the bishop. If you take the bishop, then the game will be equal after queen takes h2, rook take the queen, and e takes f5. Then the game will be the equal. And again, if the rook takes the h2 bishop, then the same idea will be the same. Queen to e5 check, king to f2, queen takes f5 check, queen takes queen, and e takes e5, and the game will be the same, or maybe the white is slightly better. So after queen e8 check, then king to g7, then the game continue. A very beautiful sacrifice using the pawn, f6 check, and with this, the king have no alternative move and set to take the pawn. So after take the pawn, then you can notice that the king are very dangerous in the center of the board. So you can continue to play rook to f1 check to control the king's movement. Then king to e5, and after this queen takes h8 and check the king. And with this, black resign the game, because after this the black has not much move to play. For example, queen h8 check, then the king can move to only one place, king to e4, then white continue to take the pawn and check. Then you can play king to e5, then queen to h5 check. Then again the king has no place to move, you only can move to king to e4, and finally you have queen to e2, and this will be the checkmate. So with this, thank you.